So this set right here is the 22-piece block set by Wusthof under their Ikon line. And first and foremost, it normally comes with a 22-piece block, but I don't have that with me, and I thought that either way, I would have just shown it for a second and then moved on to the knives regardless. So I thought I would just make the video of the knives anyway, since you can just look up a picture anytime you want and pretty much get everything you would need to know about that. Off the bat, this has what you would need for 97% of your kitchen tasks. It comes with an 8-inch chef's knife, which is the workhorse of the kitchen. It comes with an 8-inch Wunder knife, or hollow edge carving knife, slicing knife. It comes with an 8-inch bread knife that you use to cut through loaves of bread, and the serrations help make clean cuts. A 7-inch hollow ground santoku, which is actually my favorite style of knife compared to the chef's knife. I prefer that to it, but it's just personal preference. A 6-inch utility knife that you're going to use when you don't want to have to whip out a big knife just for smaller tasks. A 5-inch hollow ground santoku knife, which is a smaller version of its big brother. A 5-inch boning knife that you use to remove bones from meat and to break down bigger cuts into smaller cuts. A 4.5-inch utility knife that is again the same function as a 6-inch. A 3.5-inch paring knife. A 5-inch serrated utility knife. A 6-inch chef's knife, which is again just a smaller version of its bigger brother. As well as a honing steel to keep everything sharp. And a set of kitchen shears that also break away for easy cleaning. It also comes with 8 of these steak knives. I've only put one here for space purposes. Now with that said, let's talk about exactly what makes the Ikon the Ikon. The Ikon is the flagship line by Wusthof, and even though it's the flagship, it's 90% the same knife as the classic in terms of functionality. It uses the exact same steel, and it has the exact same cutting edge. The only differences are a slightly different blade geometry and then a much more ergonomic handle. So off the bat, it uses Wustof's proprietary 58 hardness steel, and that's nice because it's right in between the spectrum. So you have it hard enough to where you can keep the edge and not worry about constantly sharpening and constantly honing it, but it's soft enough to where you don't need to worry about chipping or damaging the blade just in normal use. On top of that, it has probably the sharpest angle that I've seen on a production regular knife. It is a 14-degree angle, which is actually 2 degrees thinner of an angle than Shun, which is already well known for being sharp. So it's a blisteringly sharp edge, and because of the 58 hardness metal, it becomes very, very resilient at the same time, so it truly is the best of both worlds. Every knife is handmade and forged in Germany and has a very, very hardy full tang. But it also has this extra material at the bottom that, number one, looks great, but number two, it adds a very nice heft towards the bottom so that while you're working with it, it feels solid and it doesn't tire you out. On top of that, the handle, you can tell they've spent a lot of energy and time making as ergonomic as possible. And I say that because no matter how you're holding the knife, it always fits in your hand perfectly, and it feels almost like a total extension of your arm. So you're not getting tired at all while you're actually working with it. It's amazing. With that said, if you like German style knives, this is the set you're going to want to get. The only question you need to ask yourself is what type of handles you want. You can get either this black handle that you see here, you can get a white or cream colored handle, which is going to pop in the kitchen a bit more, or if you want to go all out, you can get their blackwood handle. And blackwood is a type of wood from Africa. It has a gorgeous grain structure, and it's actually a very, very dark brown. But it's also very restricted. So only a couple of pieces leave. Wusthof buys them up, and they use them for the handles. And because of that, it's very limited edition. So if you want the best of the best of the best, that's the knife you're going to want to get. But otherwise, they're all going to be working exactly the same. I'll put a link down to it below. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. And otherwise, I will talk to you very soon. So this set right here is the 22-piece block set by Wusthof under their Ikon line. And first and foremost, it normally comes with a 22-piece block, but I don't have that with me, and I thought that either way I would have just shown it for a second and then moved on to the knives regardless. So I thought I would just make the video of the knives anyway, since you can just look up a picture anytime you want and pretty much get everything you would need to know about that. Off the bat,